why did I rebrand G3X, switch up the logo? Because at the end of the day, it wasn't just changing the logo. There was a lot of reasoning behind it, right? As you saw some in my last video that I posted a while ago of how I almost wrecked my clothing brand. This recent, the drop that I did back in October, the Kingdom Grind, it made me realize a lot of things as to what I was lacking with G3X. So like, hey, you know what? This isn't me. I genuinely wouldn't wear this even though I thought I did. And it wasn't just about, hey, it's a cool design, let's launch it, right? So then that's when it got me thinking, as mentioned, like, okay, I want a lot more, let's say, essence of what G3X is about. I need to define it better. And I started thinking onto myself, okay, like, what has influenced me when things that I wear, things that inspire me, motivate me, push me forward. And how can I therefore reflect that into the clothing brand, into G3X, right? And so doing deeper research as I was finding the answers to that, what exactly will G3X stand for? What do I stand for? What do I stand against? Through that, I was like kind of discovering myself better, as weird as that may sound. And then as I discovered myself better, that's how I was able to define the brand better. Because at the end of the day, at least for me, how I want to build G3X is specifically as like a founder led brand. And I want the DNA of G3X, of the brand, to be an extension of myself. Because why would I be selling something, for me at least? Why would I want to sell something, promote something, talk about something, and it's not a reflection of me or something that I would wear or that I believe in, right? And so that's eventually where, as I was discovering myself, like, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, my identity is, at the end of the day, this still becoming version of myself, right? I'm still becoming, but I'm not who I was. That's one of the phrases now of G3X. That aspect of, that continual self-improvement and not being stuck in the past or staying stagnant in your old ways or old habits, and then defining much better G3X and the lifestyle of God Gym Grind, not just God Gym Grind, but being rooted in God. I was rebuilt in the gym. That's my story, and staying relentless in the grind, not giving up and not quitting. So therefore, as you guys can see, this is the old logo. So with the old logo, it's like a lot of like chapped letters, multicolored X's and so forth. And so, which what I thought back then was cool. Oh yeah, that's hard. That's cool. But as I'm growing, as I've been, learning more about brand building and where exactly I wanted to take it, I ultimately wanted something that, in a sense, a cleaner version, simpler version, more minimalistic, still gives like a premium vibe, more neutral, not super loud up in your face, that you can mix it up in all kinds of branding. It just looks clean, elegant, sophisticated, and still, that premium, let's say, lifestyle in a sense. And so that's ultimately where the branding came into play, and defining G3X a lot better, right? Because it's not just a logo, it's like the identity, who we are. And that's what I wanted to get into. Like, my designer created a document, just kind of wanted to review that. But at the end of the day, it's like, as mentioned, I've shown here about G3X, as you guys can see here, G3X is ultimately a lifestyle clothing built for the one still becoming, where pain gets turned into purpose through a life that's rooted in God, rebuilt in the gym, relentless in the grind, right? It was created for those who've been broken, lost, or heartbroken, but decided their story wasn't over. It starts with being rooted in God, putting Him first, and to be established in the purpose and path He placed on your life. Rebuilt in the gym, choosing to build again after life hits you, rebuilding discipline, rebuilding confidence, the man who you're called to become. And at the end of the day, not for vanity, because I know sometimes in the bodybuilding space, in the gym space, there's a lot of vanity stuff. I was falling into that trap. But the more I realized, you know what, this isn't vanity. This is for my own healing, for my own growth, and for my own improvement. Then relentless in the grind, refusing to quit in the pursuit of what God put in your heart, even when you're facing pressures, setbacks, and adversity. And as mentioned here, G3X represents the mission to become a better version of yourself, even when the walk isn't perfect. I'm still becoming, but I'm not who I was. Because at the end of the day, as a story of myself, pain produces growth. The pain that I went through produced growth in me, which ultimately led me to find the purpose that I'm meant for, which is I'm still becoming and impacting others, inspiring others who are on their own becoming journey, right? So it's a lifestyle that says no to complacency, no to laziness, no to mediocrity, and about pushing past limits that were never real. It's just fear dressed up in your head as like, that's just who I am. And so when ultimately, when you know God has called you and you stay relentless, you find that inner strength to get it done. Rooted in God, rebuilt in the gym, relentless in the grind. As you can see, these are some specific words that I really want G3X to like resonate with, like rooted, rebuilt, relentless, God-fearing, resilient, becoming, and ultimately authentic, right? So these are some mood boards of some certain things that inspire me. You see that very clean aesthetics, lifestyle. Fitness is still going to be a part of it, but I also wanted some type of a lifestyle approach. And so then that's ultimately where the new logo came into be. As you guys can see here, G3X, God Gym Grind. As you can see here, it's a very clean look, ultimately, where you can use it in all kinds of branding, in all kinds of aspects. And that's ultimately why I decided to change it. And of course, with that, we got all the variations, the podcast logo, G3X Fitness, God Gym Grind, now rooted, rebuilt, relentless, right? So you'll be seeing some of this in like different merch that we launch. And there's other variations that we have as well, certain icons and symbols and so forth. But again, as you can see here, the current logo, which is what I'm wearing in the shirt, again, it was very jagged, multicolored. Now with the new logo, it gives more of that premium, clean look, but doesn't mean that G3X is changing. We're not switching messages. We're just defining it much more specific, right? God Gym Grind is still staying, the still becoming the mission of impacting other people's lives on their still becoming and keep improving. That all stays the same. That's not changing. But again, what I realized in that last launch was how much I was lacking in who really G3X is, what G3X is about, and where do I want to take the brand. And therefore, doing that homework, hey, we now know what G3X is about. At the end of the day, our mission statement to equip the ones still becoming to turn pain into purpose by living a God Gym Grind lifestyle that's rooted in God, rebuilt in the gym, relentless in the grind, right? That's ultimately what it is. And it's not just clothing, but a daily reminder. The future merch that we'll be launching is you're meant for more, and you refuse to fake perfection. That's really what I want G3X to be about. I hope you guys resonate with the message. I'm already having some samples being worked on. I'm actually waiting for it to come. I'll probably definitely do like a boxing on video or something when it does come that has a lot of the new branding, different styles of kind of that acid washed, oversized kind of fit, Again, we're not only going to be focusing on just streetwear. It's going to be a mixture, like some lifestyle merch, And I personally like oversized shirts, joggers, sweatpants. That's my vibe. You're not going to necessarily, at least now, not going to see like denim or stuff. That's just not really me. I don't really wear denim, especially like those ripped denim size. That's just not my vibe. But a lot of oversized shirts, sweatpants, joggers, different kinds of shorts. When it comes to the activewear side, it's going to be a mixture of either, I would say, running, now that I'm doing a lot of running. So again, things that can help what I need, and then reflecting that in the brand, and then also still things related to like gym wear too. And so I'm really excited. I wanted to do this video to ultimately explain, okay, so why did I change the branding? What was the reason? What was the logic? What was the purpose? It's again, nothing out of hype. It was more like, okay, now that we know who we are and where I want to take this brand, I need a logo that identifies that, and I need to define my message better. I need to define the DNA of the brand better. And this is it. This is ultimately it, right? And so as mentioned here, stay relentless in the grind, rooted in God, rebuilt in the gym. A lot of cool stuff coming up ahead for the G3X. And you'll be seeing it documented here in this YouTube channel, in the G3X's YouTube channel. So subscribe, follow, because whenever I post new videos, it'll be here. And I appreciate you guys. So I hope you guys really resonate with the message. Let me know what you guys think compared the old logo to the new logo. And I'll see you guys on the next video.